All right, what's going on, everyone? It is Wednesday, July 26th, and we are going to get started. There's been some crazy movements going on in the market. Nothing too crazy, but it's been a lot of choppiness this week. Has been like crazy pushes. You could have got in on some New York sessions on gold. I initially had gold for a drop. It all extended. All these are extending their pushes, especially like the chief pairs. I still believe we're going to be a little bit bullish on them. Just waiting on the actual setup for it to appear, and it's looking like it's going to take a little bit longer, but no worries. We're going to go over these pairs. There's a lot of new peaks today, and I'm going to try to fly through these based on what I'm looking for, right? I need something that makes structural sense. Like, for example, here, I mean, it's in a downtrend, but it doesn't mean it can't go back up, and it's already at a low. So if anything, you could just take this down to the recent low for a day trade. So let's just dive right into it. I'm going to start with gold, and we'll work our way up from there. So, all right, gold. Like this. Let's go to the daily here. Oops. So, it hit off of this 50 retracement zone on the daily, which is why we were looking for it to go down, but it's actually bouncing off of this zone here. And I think this might push up a little bit higher, right? So, I mean, we always wanted it to go up, but I think it might be pushing it up a little bit higher. I don't see any signs of it dropping it. It would have to do some sort of big reversal, a big wick or a big candle. I mean, there's a big wick here, but and it's on an imbalance right now. But at the same time, this still shows signs of it being able to push up and continue in that direction. There's no crazy signs. I mean, there's divergence, but gold's a technical pair. If it's going to reverse, it's going to continue up, do a double top, and then eventually like make its move back down. So since we don't see that yet, I'm going to say we're still bullish on gold for the night. So let's just keep it going. It might go back up to the recent high here, which is ideally where I think it's going to go if it wants to retest. It is on top of the 500 moving average as well, but all the EMAs are starting to cross upwards, and that's usually signs that we are continuing. All right, so I'm going to say let's keep looking for some bullishness. Well, let me actually check to see if there's any news to come out. Today's 26. So we had USD news today at 2 o'clock, 2:30 EST. Let's go to tomorrow, which is in the morning. So we have Euro news in the morning at 8:15 EST and USD news 8:30, and then Euro news at 8:45 again. So we got a lot of stuff going on with the Euro and USD, and then later it just says tentative. So this could pretty much mean whenever. So just be careful of JPY pairs, but nonetheless, if you know your technical analysis, if you understand the markets, this shouldn't really affect you that much. So let's go back and take a look. I'm still bullish for tonight on gold. I think we're going to see it continue upwards to this high right about here. And once it gets to that zone, I mean, you can look for a possible exit. I would say that's most likely where it's going to go. We got the 1 hour resistance. We got 4 hour resistance up top, which looks cleaner. And you got daily, right? So if I get one of the 1 hour, you got the 4 hour daily, all signs telling me that it wants to go up there and go grab that liquidity and or at least retest it. And you got an imbalance. So all the signs leading up to it. We're going to be looking for gold to be bullish tonight. All right. Gold bullish. Now let's go towards USD Chief. Peak formation high 2 days ago. Now, I've been saying this thing needs to definitely reverse, but right now it's not showing any signs of it reversing. It's showing signs of it continuing downwards. All right, so now we just got to find an optimal entry zone. We have a trend line here. I would like to see it push up to the 1 hour 50, but it looks like it's bouncing off this 15-minute as we speak, which if this was a signature trade, I mean, I don't see the hidden divergence, so this wouldn't be something I enter on. I would wait for it to push up a little bit higher, then I'd be looking for a sell. What point is this? No, I don't need that. So our hidden divergence is here. Or where it will be is based off of this line right here. Okay. So if we're going to see it drop or do anything, it needs to shoot up a lot higher than this. It needs to bounce off that 50. So let's just look for sells on USDCHF, at least down to the recent lows. If this makes the move right here during the analysis and it goes back down and retests, then I don't really think we need to take this trade anymore, even though we're overall in a downtrend. I think we need to be waiting for more confirmation on a higher time frame to look for the reversal. So I'd say wait on this, but overall continue with the direction because it will be setting up for some big move. But USD is bearish tonight. All right, that peak is still valid. I like the movement going downwards. We got breaks of structure, it's retesting. So we're still good on there. Let's go to the next one. All right, GBPNZD. Okay. 4-hour resistance, support, just off of what we're looking at here, bounce off this area. Could shoot down towards this point and move up. I see regular divergence. I see hidden divergence. We're going off of this point right here. It's already lower. So I want to see it drop a little bit farther down. That might be something on the 1 hour actually. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So let's see this push down a little bit more and see what happens. It's in a range, so that's one thing we got to be careful of. Is this. So although I want to see it dropped here, I think this thing's going to drop all the way back down. So let's keep riding the range, right? Let's get rid of this. And because the EMAs are all tight, we're not going to go based off the EMAs on this tonight for it to bounce off. We're going to continue this move down. So all you're doing is looking for selling opportunities. If it's not selling right now, or dropping at least, then we could see it push back up one more time and then an ultimate drop. But I think we need to maintain the range motion that we're seeing. Let me go to the 4 hour. It's inside of an imbalance right now. There's just too much consolidation for me to want to even take this trade. So I'm just going to stick to what I'm seeing at the moment and just look for it to be more bearish at the moment just for tonight. And then we can move forward from there. Yeah, GN, it's bearish. All right, now we got CAD Chief, peak formation high. Oops. Okay. This one's setting up for a bigger time frame reversal too. Yeah. From a daily perspective, it needs to rise before I decide to even sell it again, because it already pulled back to that daily catch up, which seems to be this 4 hour Mayo or the 4 hour water. And it was divergent here, drop back down. I'd say we're going to be looking for buys just because it's too low. It's not a solid spot that I'd be looking for. So we kind of have to see what we want to do with that. It might break this trend line here. Let me see if there's a bigger time frame trend line, to be honest. Nothing that stands out. Broke structure to the low. So it's due for a pullback. This weekly needs to push up to here. See how it hasn't touched the water yet? It needs to do that. it needs to go up and touch it. It always wants to return to the water first, and then the Mayo second, and it's like the home beacon, and the EMAs are spread out. So that's what we're going to be looking for, is mainly a bullish move over the next few weeks moving forward. Has a double bottom here, hidden divergence. This is saying more so buys, but it's not the perfect setup yet. I need to see some momentum, right? So I'm not selling this, but I need to see some pushes upwards for this to be a solid buy, and then we'll look for the retrace on the way back down, right? So let's hold off on this pair for tonight, and once we see how it moves forward on the 1 hour on a bullish move up, then we'll be able to capture in for a pullback for a second day rise. All right, now let's go to AUDCAD. Oh, nice. All right. So we got EMAs are super tight. Most likely not going to touch it. It looked, I mean, if you look at the daily, it got the pullback candle, so big bullish candle, bearish with the wick to take out the blow, and now we're looking at another bullish move. So, I mean, just off of that, it looks safe to say that we are going to be bullish tonight, but EMAs are way too tight and it's too consolidative, so I'm not touching this pair. Let's go to the next one, AD Chief. Do I have AD USD on the list today? Yeah. But that's okay. I'll go over this. Okay. Ooh, we got some big wicks to the low here. That's good. And retesting these lines here. So it's maintaining itself, which is very, very good. 4 hour. Oh, that's the daily. Gotta be careful here. What is it for? Peak formation high? Yeah, I don't know about that, guys. I think we're gonna see a pushback up, just like AUD. Oh, this is AD Chief. Just like AUDCAD, it had that daily continuation candle. Let's see what this one looks like. It's not a daily continuation, but it has made a new low with a bullish candle. And this is the daily, so it still has time to play out. But if it closes like this or higher or bullish in general, then we're going to be looking for this to be buys for the next coming week. So it's too low for me. I don't want to take this for a buy. I mean, it was ideal to look for a buy overall just because it was at a low. But if I'm going to be looking for buys now to go against this, which I don't think this is valid, to be honest, we need to see some pushes up. So I'm going to be bullish on this tonight. I'm not going to trade it because it's not my setup, but expect a big push up. And then once it breaks this point up here, then we can expect some sort of hit to these EMAs, pull back as the water makes its move around, and then we can take it up to the recent high or further. All right, so now we got AUDJPY, peak formation high 2 days ago. Oh, Euro NZD finally tanked. That's nice. I had to sell in this and I got stopped out because it continued up a little bit past it and now it's dropping. It is what it is. All right. AUDJPY. Let's see. a big engulfing candle on the daily. And if that's the true push of it, then we can be expecting some major or just a pullback up for a drop, right? And this is saying it's a peak formation high. So it's looking good so far. We have a broken structure here. Pull back to the EMAs, even though it's super tight. I would say it's definitely good for a sell overall. But the EMAs are so tight, it's like it honestly could just continue like this and just not do what I think it wants to do or what I think it should do because it's got no immediate direction. We have a trend line here, right? So if it does decide to drop, we could see it drop to there, into that zone, which would be also lined up with this imbalance. So that does make sense. So I would say let's look more so for sells on AUDJPY just to meet what we're looking at structurally because it is sound. And if I draw this trend line here, bouncing right off of it. So it's an interesting spot. I'm curious to see what it does. This isn't my setup, but so far we do have setups for it's inside of an imbalance. It is hitting the EMAs. It is hitting, what is this? We got some 1 hour resistance in this zone. It just bounced off of 4 hours, so we could see it push up a little bit higher to that 4 hour. And then you got a daily, right? And this is what I'm talking about here. It's that it can just continue to push up to these highs because there's nothing stopping it, right? It's in a channel right now, for being honest. That's the channel. So if it breaks this support trend line, then we're going to expect it to drop down to this trend line. If it breaks that, then it's going back down to this recent low where this daily support is. So just be careful of what we're doing here. This isn't the best spot, but I can definitely let you know if it breaks these bottoms, it's going to down. It's going to retest this low. Let me see. And that low, this bottom trend line is lined up with the 50 EMA. But we do have some hidden divergence here. Right? Bounced off that 50 EMA. And it bounced off the 50 retracement with that imbalance on the day, or not the imbalance, but the hidden divergence. So that actually paints us a different picture than what we thought. And if that's the case, then what we could see is a push up either from where it's at currently or a push down to continue the short-term downtrend, right? That's based off of this break going across. So now it's reverted. We have a lower low and it'll beat this low too. For it to then retest this trend line down here, which is also lined up with the daily 50 EMA, as you can see right here, for the retest there for a continuation up. All right. So just be careful. This isn't the setup that I would necessarily trade, but right now it does look promising for it to continue to drop. So let's look for a bearish move down on AJ and then see what happens. And then we go from there tomorrow to see how it plays out. All right, so let's go to the next one. NZD cheap. Haven't looked at any NZD pairs recently. Like they don't want me to trade them. All right, let me move this. What am I going to get rid of? NZD cheap. Okay. Formation high. Don't like it. I need to see this push up. If I want to touch this pair, it needs to go up higher. It's got the hidden divergence here, but it's too low. This is not a setup I like. Don't have regular divergence. Actually, I want to test something on too. I'm going to add my old TDI back real quick. Yeah, it's not even the same thing. Yeah. So it's hitting the EMA right now, which I guess you could say if it does decide to reverse, it's at that point right now where it can shoot up a little bit and then come back down. But at the same time, it's at a low that's been tested multiple times. So I'm going to be patient with this and I'm going to wait for it to do some sort of consolidation, because look what it's doing. It's getting ready for some consolidation. Like, that is not a setup that I like. This isn't something I would touch. So I would wait for it to push up higher and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to leave NZD alone. And I'm trying to be picky with these moving forward because I don't want to be looking at every single pair, and you guys don't need to be looking at every single pair. You should be picky. And then we all come to the agreement of like, okay, one or two pairs are solid, and then you just wait for those one or two pairs, right? Because if you try to force a setup, man, it's going to backfire on you big time. All right, NZDJPY. Spelled it wrong. Yeah, like just like, would you trade this honestly? Like, is this even worth it? This whole like, forget about these. Oh shit. This isn't something I would trade. So what's the point of going over it? All right, EURCAD, peak formation low. Let's see. This channel isn't necessary anymore. Damn it. All right, and this isn't necessary anymore. And these are all tight right there. Oh, we got a bunch of support. Thing is, though, it's hitting off this catch up right now, and usually when it does that, it tends to go right back down with the other EMAs. I mean, that's just from the daily perspective, right? So let's go to the 4 hour. All right, so first thing I noticed is the trend line. Make sure this is correct. You guys know how picky I am with where I place things. Okay. So it hit off the water. 10 minutes. Interesting. This hasn't popped up in a while. Okay. Yeah, it's not popped up in a while. So the EMAs are getting tight right here. It definitely made a move. So we have some hidden divergence actually. If you could see it clearly, and it's bouncing right off the 50. Even though the EMAs are getting tight, there's still enough room for it to want to at least go and retest down to the low. It's breaking this trend line, but doesn't mean it's actually incorrect. This could still go up, or I mean down. So let's look. If we're going off of the hidden divergence here, we're going to go off of this point right there, down to the low. Right? Look at that. So far, it's met multiple criteria. We have hidden divergence 1. We have 50 EMA 2. We have 1 hour resistance That's 3. We have imbalance, that's 4. And is there anything else? It's on the 61.8 retracement. That's 5. Well, most of this is set for a signature trade, right? And it's bouncing off this trend line. It's not the cleanest thing. I like to give it a little bit of space. So like one of the things I always tell people is that when the EMAs are tight, the technicalities that people are used to, like bouncing off trend lines, bouncing off support resistance, it tends to go out the window because the EMAs signify ranging. It signifies like it'll do whatever it wants. So when I see that this trend line was broken, I'm not like any other technical trader that sees, oh, trend line broke and we're going to look for a buy off of there and continue. Can it do that? Yes, but like it's like a mind fuck at the same time. This could still drop all the way down, and because the EMAs are tight, right? That's something that I've learned over the years. So far I see signs of a signature trade, and it's all matching with all the euro pairs that we're doing yesterday. I wanted all of them to pull back, and all of them ended up doing that. So this was just a pullback. It's bouncing off of the 1 hour 200 EMA, and now we're hitting the 4 hour EMA, 4 hour water, and it's hitting off the 500 that it broke. So a lot of this is saying to me, look for sells. All right. So I'm gonna stick with my gut on this. Let me see if there's any hidden divergence here. There is some hidden divergence, not enough. It's not like a shark fin or anything. See if there's anything on the 4 hours got a shark fin to the downside. I'm gonna entertain this real quick. Let's see what happens. Let's just go based off if this was the truth. So if this was the fact, then we have, it's not inside of an imbalance, but it is inside of a supply and demand zone right here. This whole thing, that one candle, that's supply or demand. I don't even know the difference. I just say supply and demand zone. Or we can just call it zone. So it's in there. It's hitting the 61.8. It's hitting the 50. There is a slight hidden divergence. It's not inside of an imbalance. There's multiple criteria. So these ones take a lot longer to play out, and this doesn't mean that it can't go up, but it also doesn't mean that it won't go down a couple times for it to retest. And based off what I'm seeing on the 4 hour, that's what it looks like it wants to do. At least maybe try for a retest, but I'm gonna keep my eyes on it. So at the moment, I'm still bearish on EURCAD until I see maybe a bigger move. Like in order for me to want to be bullish on this, I need to see a break of this high, right? That is the high to break. So let me hide this stuff, mainly because it's the last recent pivot. So if this is, let's say this isn't the actual pivot for the move down, then what this is actually a pivot for a pullback to go back up to break this high, in which case, once this is broken, we have a very solid opportunity for this to pull back. We'll probably see some hidden divergence for whatever peak is here, and then whatever peak shows up here, and we'll take a buy going in that direction from the 50 EMA that ends up going around. So let's just see how it plays out. I'm still bearish on it for tonight, and then coming back towards the end of the week, because today's Wednesday going into Thursday, we could see this set up for a bullish move going into next week. So now let's go over GBPUSD. I got 5 minutes left, guys. So if I'm going to try to get as much out as I can. I don't want to have to add another thing to this. GBPUSD. I can find. Okay. Short term, it still looks like it wants to go up, at least from the daily. Look at that. I don't think I looked at this pair the last few days. What's today? Wednesday. So Thursday, technically, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, I didn't even look at this pair at the beginning of the week, but it bounced off right off of this trend line, which was perfect, honestly. And now it's continuing up, and it never retested this supply, but because this one was actually It actually did. It went down. So now we have this. Okay. And I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. It's still bullish. Like this isn't, these aren't patterns that just, you don't see stuff like this where it goes up and up and up and up and up and then it just drops. The only thing that makes a drop like that happen is news. So I'd say we're still bullish and it's going to go up to that supply right here. I mean, look at this massive drop. It's just filling in all the gaps. So off of what I'm seeing here, your best bet, look for a pullback, retest of the EMA, and then a rise. So we're bullish on GU, guys. Bullish on GBPUSD. Okay. Where are we at? 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Try to power through this. Clearly still bullish. Look at that. I mean, break a structure. It's still got massive gaps to fill in. It at least needs to go up to here. This is supply and demand zone. All here. So bullish, GBPCAD, bullish. And then write that down real quick. Another 2 minutes. Right. I'm going to go over these ones real quick. Might just have to skim through them. Definitely looking bearish still. This is going to have to be the last pair. In a weird spot, but it made that massive drop. It actually looks like it needs to get ready for a buy. So, in it right now, peak formation high. It's maintaining it. It's got trendline liquidity right here. Right. So, until otherwise, this thing still has momentum. It's got this 4-hour low. So let's see what happens. Currently, I mean, we're still bearish, but expect some sort of reversal soon. And then we'll look for that. So I'm going to say we're bearish on UJ. And I'm going to end it here, guys. We have less than a minute. If you guys want to be on the full service and you guys want to be part of our pro group, we have a lot of cool things coming out. We're doing a cool partnership. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you're watching us in the Market Makers group, guys, you're going to want to be joining the Discord and stay in tune with what we're doing. Okay. So with that being said, everyone have a great rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow and we'll end the week out strong. Peace out.